Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes in the Pro. As always, you got your guys, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. My boys, what's good? What's going on? How y'all doing? It's a great weekend. Doing great, Ryan. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm pumped. Things are going great.
Okay.
Yeah. Ask Ryan about his fantasy teams later.
Oh my God. I had a rough fucking weekend.
Me and you both.
Brian won for no fucking reason in one league against me.
Yeah.
It's like Evan Ingram hasn't scored a touchdown all season. He has the game of his life. Trevor Lawrence, I hope he gets injured today, but don't worry, he'll get 29 points before he gets injured. And then but don't worry, Jamar Chase is playing with Browning as the quarterback, so he'd be trash. He's explosive game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a rough game. I had a rough outing. So that one I lost for no reason. And then in TNT, I had two players that scored 0 points. Terry McLaurin is on the fucking all cardio team for the Washington. They're paying him $22 million a year to just run routes with no targets. He doesn't get the ball. Why? Why pay? What a waste of a talent. And then I started Jawan Johnson, who, that was a mistake, I guess. I needed a tight end that week.
Yeah, I kind of can back those thoughts up, right? I was, playing Simon. I thought I had a good chance going to the week. I was projected 134 points. He was projected 114. I thought New England Chargers playing New England. I thought that was a get right game, right? And
what the fuck?
It was not a get right game. It was 6-0. And
y'all won?
Yeah, won. I was like,
dub.
I literally was watching the game like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, it was like weird weather because it was like it wanted to snow, but it wasn't snow. It's like, oh, look, it was weird. It was rainy and all that. So Herbert had 22 completions for 212 yards, which was wild to me because I was like, how you have 212 yards, but you don't even get a touchdown? Didn't understand it. But anyway, they won 6-0. Eckler didn't do anything. He had 14 carries for 18 yards. I was like, that's pathetic. Yeah. So that really ended for me. And then make it even better, Tank Dell goes out and breaks his leg. So I get 0 points there. Brian Robinson gets a concussion. 5 points there. Zach Moss wasn't the same guy from before. So what it looked like it was a can you get your ass bust weekend? And that's exactly what happened. And then to make it even worse, I'm in my other league, my money league, and the guy was talking shit to me in the league. He said, bro, I'm gonna bust your ass. I'm like, bro, just calm down, okay? Like, just relax. So going into it, right? Herbert, because that league was a point per completion. Herbert has 29 points. He normally averages like 50. Okay, Zach Moss have 7.7. Najee Harris, 9.7. Everybody else play phenomenal. CeeDee Lamb and I listened to Ryan. I went with Ferguson to start the week. I was like, all right, cool. Jamar Chase has a game. Rashee Rice, decent. I lose by 3 points. If I would have started McBride, I win the game. McBride had 22 and this had 19. And I was like, I thought it was good, right? I was like, I switched out. I listened to Ryan. I was like, I think that's a solid performance. I think I'm going to be good. Why can't I started the week with 50-something points in fantasy. I'm like, that's a good start, right? And Herbert just lazy.
Unfortunately, you didn't lose because of McBride benching McBride for Ferguson was not the mistake. It was these players need to perform better. Like
I wasn't saying that was I was just saying just in general, like that slight thing right there, I would have won the game, but really I shouldn't even lost at all because Herbert had 29 points. In a league that you're supposed to average around 50 for a quarterback. So, anyway. What you have to say, Ryan? I know you're like, oh, you got all these. What's happening right now?
What? Oh, I just find it funny. You were talking all that shit last week about I already won the championship.
I did. Yeah, that still doesn't take away from the fact.
And we said all it takes is 1 week, Kenny, and you be out.
Yeah, that could have been. Imagine that was next week, Kenny.
But guess what? It's not. Like what we talking about? Okay, and then guess what? The same thing could be said about anybody else's team. It could be 1 week. Okay, cool.
We weren't claiming a victory.
It doesn't matter. I was. So at the end of the day, I said the championship was mine, and I still believe that the championship mine. Just because it's 1 week happened doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying that I was sympathizing with you. I still feel the same way.
I'm going to be honest. I've been looking at things in our league, our TNT league, I am in fourth right now. Jess is in fifth, and sixth is Amanda, and we're all at 7 and 6. I almost want to lose
So
because
you can play me.
no, just
Oh, it's
because
'cause you don't play
I
Jess.
don't. Right now, I play Jess, and if I play Jess round 1, I'm losing. Like it just happens every year.
Yeah.
If I
so
play
you,
around 1, I will lose.
so you want to play me instead of Jess?
I would rather play you. Correct.
Okay.
So if you end with who knows? Winner gets wings, might lose. Brian's not just going away, even though he's mathematically out of the playoffs.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
who
yeah.
do you
I'm
play?
putting out the best team I got.
Yeah.
I mean,
In our Dynasty League, I'm playing Bryant. And it's for the number 1 pick.
oh, you need to win that, please.
I know. You were like, I need to win that because then you get number 1 pick. But then I hold my own pick, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna put the problem is like I'm too noble to not put the best roster that I possibly can out there.
You have to.
But that's
play
my
it right.
problem. Is well, no, I might feel real good about Jalen Hyatt, throw him out there.
I don't appreciate that kind of tone right now.
Yeah, but knowing my luck, he'll go out for 200 yards, some random.
Not for Brian's look.
I'm just saying, this is the whole reason why I've hung on to that pick is because I knew that guy's team was ass.
Yeah. Well, he should try to win because he doesn't hold any of his picks, so there's no reason for him to want to win. Because I will hold. If I get the first pick, he gets the second pick. I will literally have the first pick or the second pick in the first round, and then I'll have 2 picks later in the rounds, like 7 and 8, 9 and 10. I'll have 2 late picks, and then for the second round, I'll have 1, 2. I'll have the first 2 picks because I have his second round pick and my second round pick.
Yeah,
I'm rebuilding, baby. And I'm going to bust every single one of these picks. Anyway, sorry, fantasy football. It's 1 week till the playoffs, so.
We went a little out of the order, but that's good because you have to get it off our chest. Yeah, like I said before, guys, I'm still front runner to win the championship. So, yeah, just keep that in mind for next week when things get really interesting.
I hope you get your ass whacked again this week.
It doesn't matter. I'm still going to be in the playoffs regardless.
It's karma, though.
I'm in the playoffs regardless, bro. Can you say that, man?
I know. You
say?
I can't. In that league, I can't, Kenny.
Hey, you hating on the outside of the club because you can't even get in.
How many have you made, Brian? Because I know most leagues I'm in with you, we're not in the playoffs except for Bliss.
This has been a down league for me. I'm in Bliss, obviously. My Yahoo league, I'm not in. Well, I'm playing to get in the 8 seed because they do 8 seeds instead of 6. I need to win and I need someone to lose. So
you hating on the outside of the club, bro.
Jimmy's league out.
Fuck that league. I hate that league so much.
Brian's league out. I think I'm 5 and 8, so I should be out. Dynasty, number 1.
Oh yeah.
And then wait, what happened to the kids league?
You're just trash, I think.
No. Like it's not even there. It's not listed.
Probably because you're terrible in it.
I mean, I know you did bad, but you don't have to delete the league like that.
No, I'm in 5th.
What league are you doing? Something else.
With I did one for my kids.
Oh, okay.
Brian, you're in 9th. You're 5 and 8 in that league. You're out.
I'm not out. Oh, there it is. It populated now.
5 and 8.
I could win and get in.
No, you can't.
How many seeds are there?
6.
Oh. All
right.
So
I guess I'm
out there. I'm out there.
All right. Sorry, Kenny. Let's go.
Oh, good. All right. So, before we're gonna save college football for last, right? Because that's gonna be a little good topic. But we're gonna hit on NBA. The in-season tournament started. I told Brian not to bet on the Celtics. He didn't listen to me. And the Pacers beat the Celtics, so they're going to the semifinals. The score was 122 to 112 that game. the Pelicans came back and upset the Kings. With the Kings had a lead, but they came back and beat the Kings 127 to 117 on Monday, and then Tuesday yesterday. The Suns played the Lakers, and it was actually a pretty good game by the Lakers coming back because they were down for a little bit for majority of the game, rather. So it was a good. I think that was Cam Reddish' first game starting, and he knocked down some big time shots. So that was good there. LeBron showed vintage LeBron hitting some shots, and I thought that that's the first time you saw LeBron like really won it in a while. So I think that's because, of course, he wants to be the first winner of the in season tournament. If this is a long time thing, and I get it. And then the Bucks have shown life. I'm curious on what you got to say to that, Brian. They beat the Knicks 146 to 122, which is the highest point scoring of the league. I mean, the year for them. Giannis had 35 points, and I think
Lillard went off.
Leonard had 28. Lillard had Damian Lillard had 28. So
I mean, the difference in that game is they absolutely killed it on the 3-point line, and the Knicks only made like 8 threes or something like that. The Bucks had like 20 or something.
Yeah, 23 for 38. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's a ridiculous percentage, like
60%.
Well over 50%. Yeah. So that right there is the discrepancy in that game. I mean, the Knicks are still a pretty good team. I think that they could compete with the Bucks normally, but they just ran into a buzzsaw that day.
Yeah,
it happens.
I really like the play of Jalen Brunson. Like, I think first of all, Julius Randle had 41 points, which is crazy because it's an efficient game because normally he's always trying to shoot the three. And that game he was actually going in the paint. But I like Jalen Brunson's game a lot, man. For him to be undersized, the way he's crafty with the ball, I really appreciate his game for sure. So that's pretty much what I have for NBA. The rest of games today, we got some stuff going on, but a lot of back and forth. Nothing too crazy in NBA. So I'll touch on college football after we touch on NFL, unless you want me to touch on it now.
Well, let me get some MLB in real quick.
Yeah. Let him do that, and then we'll do college football. We can end on NFL.
MLB news. So still a lot of rumors circulating about Soto going to the Yankees. However, the Yankees did just make a trade with their rivals, the Red Sox. They traded for Alex Verdugo, sent some minor league prospects to the Red Sox. Nobody very notable from my eyes, but I'm not that spun up on minor leaguers. So if you're not like one of the top minor leaguers, I have no idea who you are. The Orioles, they signed Craig Kimbrell on a 1-year deal. Basically, MLB slow this time of year. I'm actually surprised that there's even signings going on so far. Usually it doesn't happen until after the winter meetings, which I think are later this month. And then the Shohei Ohtani news is that there is no news because wherever he wants to go, he's keeping it very close held. Not letting anybody know, so nobody has like the breaking news on that. So we'll see. He's supposed to make a decision in the next week or two, he said. So we'll see if he actually does. And basically every big market out there is in the running for him. New York, LA, maybe Boston, who knows. But the one low key dark horse in the picture right now is Toronto. So
yeah, I heard about the Toronto. They were saying that that's favorable for him as far as like hitting and pitching. And before he was worried about the market going to a big time market, and now I don't think he really cares as much.
But it'll be
I think no matter where he's going to get he's going to draw a crowd. So yeah.
That's basically it for MLB.
What about hockey?
No, I mean not much updates since last week. I mean,
hockey's been pissing me off. I tell you that much. Inconsistent play.
Patrick Kane is set to debut for the Red Wings. Was that tonight or maybe it's tomorrow? I saw. If they're playing tonight, it was tonight. No, so it's tomorrow. So we'll see if that sparks their team at all. Maybe. I mean, they're doing fairly well. Let's see. The best team in hockey right now is the Vegas Knights. Not a big shocker there. And the Boston Bruins. They're both tied 37 points apiece. So Yeah, I mean, not a lot going on. We'll see how. I don't like to give an update every week on hockey. Just
That
it's
was
a
all
long
good.
season. Nothing notable has happened.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I just think for me watching, there's a lot of teams that are kind of like grouped a bunch together. Maybe because it's the beginning of the season, so everybody's record is kind of decent for the most part. But it's a lot of games that the favorites are not winning as far as betting wise, right? When you're looking at
Yeah,
teams and they're going in.
that's because you
It's,
haven't got to the point of the season where there's teams that will quit.
mm,
You know what I mean? They did, or they'll start playing a lot more younger guys and sit their veterans, and or they've shipped them off somewhere. After the trade deadline.
yeah,
But yeah, you got a lot of more competitive games earlier in the year because of that. But also with that, your overs are going to be probably hitting a little bit more often.
surprisingly, it's been more blowouts though. It's been like
Well, right, but
3-0, two
oh,
one, those type of games, and that's
a lot of
what
those,
that's what's been.
a lot of the West Conference, man, they've been scoring like crazy. I feel like they've been scoring like 6, 7, 8 goals a game between the two teams. It's been a barrage. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not really betting on hockey a whole lot. Every once in a while, I'll see a team I like. Like if they're
Not yet.
anything under minus 250, I'll probably hit them and parlay them with something else.
Not
You know,
yet, because we just got too much other stuff going on. But
well,
come around
yeah,
June, July time,
well,
it's
okay.
baseball and hockey. Or not even June, maybe like April,
Nah,
May.
once football's over,
No, we really go heavy on basketball when football's over. It's college basketball all day.
that's true. We got March Madness. Oh yeah,
Especially in March, 8th, and February. So anyway, Brian, what you got? Or should I go talk college football? You
Yeah,
want
let's do
controversy
college
now?
football.
All
Yeah,
right, let's
let's
do
do
it.
controversy now.
All right, so this past weekend was conference championships, and there were a lot of good games. What happened? Nothing at me.
I would no. He's right, Andrew. Uh, he made a sign for two Joes and a pro. Do you have it behind you, Brian? No,
it's
I would
somewhere in
have
here.
that shit right here. I would have it
Yeah,
right
man.
here.
Yeah, man.
It would be
Okay,
hung up, plugged in. It'd be
listen,
lit up. It'd be like a
right.
giant neon
You
light.
you know I've been busy, so just leave me be.
I, I'd
I will
have
get
it.
that hung up soon.
All
By
right.
Christmas, it'll be hung up. How about that? Merry Christmas.
What can we? Can I get a sign? Like what we gotta do to get a
Yeah.
sign?
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I know.
Like
Can we
damn.
get? We got.
Well,
There's two others.
maybe if you would come over for Thanksgiving, Kenny, and met my friend Andy, maybe
You would have been
you
able
would
to
have been
see
like,
the
yeah,
sign, but not receive a sign because I showed up for
yeah. But he
Thanksgiving.
And
said
you
he
didn't
would
get.
make you one, Ryan. He said he'd make you one.
Well, I will give you my address.
Well, there you go.
Well, you don't. You know, I was about to. No, I'm not saying that. Not this. Not. I'm about to say it coming, but I forgot who we were at. I'll take a sign too, please.
Okay.
Leave it there. Anyway, let's get to football. So college football, the conference championship was last week. It started off Friday. The Conference USA Championship, Liberty versus New Mexico State. New Mexico State came out hot. I was like, oh, maybe New Mexico State can give them a run for their money. Liberty came back and won that game. Then we went to the money game, which was Oregon versus Washington. I told Brian didn't believe me. I said 10 points is a lot of damn points. And Ryan agreed with me. And Brian was like, nah, man, Oregon's going to do their thing. And Oregon just lost the game. So it was easy money for anybody that, is knowledgeable in college football. And obviously Brian's not knowledgeable. So,
Really, really, really. That's what we're gonna go with.
bro, 10 points is a lot of points. You know that.
Look
You
at how
did
Washington played the last like 5 games, and then look how Oregon was playing. They were
that's the thing.
crushing people.
That's the thing. You haven't been paying attention because Washington hasn't been healthy. So they got McMillan back. They haven't had McMillan since healthy since like week 4, week 5 or something like that. So he had him back, right? There's some of their players back that they weren't before. So now you're like, all right, you got a little better strength. And it's so easy to play when you don't have any pressure on you. When everybody's saying, "Oh, you're going to lose," they took the pressure off of Washington. If they said Washington should win this game, I definitely think you have a different game. But since it was like, no, Oregon should win it, Oregon's a better team. Now you
Huh.
gave Washington some fuel power, and then you see what
They
happened.
they limped past Washington State by 3 points at home the week prior.
In
Why?
the
I mean,
beginning,
they were on the downhill. Like it just was not looking good. They barely beat Oregon State. Granted, that was in Oregon.
But you're
I'll give
saying
them that.
teams, you're saying all teams that in it like 4 weeks ago that were like top 15, top 10 ranked. Like Washington was top ranked. Oregon State was top ranked. It's not like if you say Cal, something like that, I get it. Right. But the last 2 weeks, those are not easy games, right? So anyway, getting to Saturday, which was really the meat and potatoes of the conference championships. You had Texas starting off playing against Oklahoma State. Texas came out the gate and just wiped the floor with them, trying to show people that they're worthy to get a college football position or spot. And then it went to the MAC championship. Was Miami upsetting Toledo. I think they were like 7-point favorites. Miami came through on that. They had a running quarterback, and he kind of handled that. Boise State followed up the running quarterback as well. They put up 44 points on UNLV, which I thought UNLV had a chance, but no, they handed them pretty easy. The SMU game, I told Ryan about this as well. I think he agreed with me too. Brian about this. I think he agreed with me too. The SMU game, they upset Tulane. It was easy. SMU had their backup quarterback in. People try to say like, "Oh man, they should struggle." And I'm like, man, you haven't seen SMU because their backup quarterback, to me, in my opinion, is better than their starting quarterback. But they handled Tulane there, and then while that game was going on, most people weren't paying attention to that game because they were paying attention to Georgia, Alabama, which was a game. I think in the beginning, if you saw the first drive of Georgia and turned it off the TV, you thought the outcome would be totally different because the first drive, Georgia drove down the field 85 yards or 75 yards, and it was nothing. It was like knife through butter. It was like, oh man. I told myself, and my stepfather called me. He was like, hey, Kenny, I don't know, man. They going through it pretty easy. And then, Alabama tightened it down. I think we saw a defense of presence from Alabama that we haven't seen all year, I would say, because they were stopping the run pretty good. And they just had a thorough game. I think that Jalen Milroe, he showed up. Even when, Georgia responded, he showed up. And in the beginning, you could tell he was nervous, for sure. You could tell he was nervous. He was high on some of his balls that he was throwing and things like that. But I think the team kind of, took in that Nick Saban, energy and said, all right, we're here for a reason, right? So that happened. They upset Georgia. The game looks closer than it really was, in my opinion. So 27-24 there. And then, the Michigan-Iowa game wasn't really a game. Michigan turned it up on late, but if you watch the game, Michigan didn't really look good to me, in my opinion. Granted, I know Iowa defense is really good, but still, we're talking about the Iowa defense that Penn State put 40 points on. So I'm like, what is going on there? Yeah. But, some people are like, it's a championship. What do you expect? Blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if you have any comments on that, Brian.
Michigan, they basically got a practice in before the playoffs started.
Yeah.
The real Big Ten championship was when they played Ohio State. And they took care of business, so they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, so Louisville played against Florida State, which was controversial for people. A lot of people wanted Louisville to win just to make it easy in the decision. The Florida State won that. Shout out to them. Their defense is phenomenal, but their offense was just terrible, man. Like half the game, they were in Wildcat, with their running back and different position players trying to just give guys the ball because they had a backup. They had a backup freshman starting, and to his credit, what do you expect? He tried as best as he could, but they didn't look good. So, all that being said, that comes to the controversy that came on the next day.
55 passing yards.
Yeah. That came on
21 attempts. It's not like he wasn't throwing the ball. He was trying.
But what he was throwing, it was like screens, bubbles, things like that, like trying to get out quick.
Looks like the Giants.
It was a little bit worse than the Giants. Yeah. Like a lot of the times he wasn't, they just send him out and it's like, Wildcat. This is going like, so anyway. College football came out the next day on Sunday. You had Michigan going to number 1. You had Washington, who I thought should have been a number 1 pick or number 1 seeding, but they went to number 2. You had Texas hopping from 7 all the way to number 3, and then
that's a big jump.
Yeah, it was a big jump. I think they only got it just because people say they beat Alabama, so Alabama can't go in front of them. And then the number 8 pick, Alabama hopped to number 4, upsetting Georgia. And then you had, Florida State on the outside at 5, and then Georgia at 6. So I know I'm just going to go out here and state the facts for people that do not understand college football, because I've been hearing it a lot, right? And a lot of people have this, like, everybody gets a participation trophy bullshit mantra that they say, oh, Florida State was undefeated, so they should have been in. The college football playoffs, it's not about who's undefeated. It has criteria, and the criteria that takes place that people are not making sense of is, it says in there, if a player injury changes the performance of that team, then that will be weighted. And I think people just skip over that part, and they just think, oh, they won the conference championship and they're undefeated. With Jordan Travis on that team, Florida State would have been in there undoubtedly. Even with Alabama winning, Florida State would have still been in there because they beat LSU team. They've been dominant for majority of the year. Yes, they had games that there was close, but everybody's had games that's close. But without having him, I don't care what people say about, oh, you should think that it's more admirable that they won without him. It doesn't matter. They played against a Florida team who sucks, and they played against a Louisville team who's been up and down. And,
hey, they played North Alabama.
But I'm saying the last 2 weeks, right, they did not have Jordan Travis, right? So, and when you watch those games, it looked lethargic. The offense could not get it going. Like people
when they played Georgia in this bowl game,
I'm telling you,
everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, never mind."
I'm telling you, that's why I was so glad that they got paired with Georgia, because when Georgia beat the dog shit out of them, and people were like, "Damn," and then you're gonna hear people say, "Oh, they should have still been in the playoffs," and then you have these people just because they don't want to be wrong say, "No, this should have still been in the playoffs." But anyway, Brian,
you know what? I'll say it here though: if they somehow go in and beat Georgia,
they're not.
We'll come on the podcast the following week, and we'll admit to the world, no, you were wrong. They should have been in. Yeah. That's all I'll say. But because I'm that confident that will not happen.
Yeah, I'm. Brian,
Uh-huh.
What if they don't win and they're just close? What if it's within 7 points?
But it won't be.
It won't be.
We don't
I'm
Listen,
willing to put
Brian,
that on there as well.
They will lose by 14 plus at the least.
I mean, what was
think
their
that's what
big
the spread is right now.
That makes sense, because I think that Georgia
What was their big game with even Travis out there? Like, what was their big game? Their
LSU
starting game against LSU?
LSU in the beginning, because people thought LSU had a chance to be a CFP contender, and they
but then after that, that's the first game of the year. What happens next?
It's because ACC was weak at that point, right? ACC is a weak team. They beat a Clemson team at Clemson, which people thought that was a good win as well, right? And I thought it was a quality win because it's hard to beat Clemson in Death Valley. But ACC overall was just a weak conference this year, which was kind of, I don't think people took into account because people don't pay attention. They just try to say ACC is a Power 5 conference. I'm like, yes, I understand that, but is the ACC better than the Big Ten? No, it's not. No. Is the ACC better than SEC? No, it's not. Is it better than the Pac-12? No, it's not. Is it better than the Big 12 this year? No, it's not. So, like, with that being said, if it's the 5th best conference, what are you talking about?
Hey, speaking of Big Ten, can we petition to get Michigan and Ohio State in separate divisions? I like that they play each other every year, but like it's every year we watch they play each other right towards the end of the year, and then the winner, whoever wins that game goes on and wins the championship game.
This is the last year, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody that was mad about the CFP, don't worry about it. This is the last year, because next year is going to 12, and all you Penn State fans, all you Ohio State fans, all you people that want your team to get a shot, you're going to have to get a shot next year. And when y'all get beat the dog shit out of, you're going to understand that you're not supposed to be there. But you're going to see it, right? Like, Ohio State, Michigan, they have good chances. The majority of the time when they have a solid team, they're going to compete in the college football playoffs. And Michigan, I don't know, because they haven't showed the shit yet. But Ohio State, for sure. Every time Ohio State goes to the college football playoff, they compete.
Yeah.
But Penn State, you're not ready, bro. You're not supposed to be there. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens when you have Oregon, USC, UCLA, come into the conference and kind of rile things up a little bit. Because it's now you can say that the Big Ten is going to have more competition outside of just Michigan and Ohio State. Because I don't, Brian, you might disagree with me, but I don't think Penn State is good.
Penn State this year?
The last 5-6 years.
I think that they were overranked. I'll put it that way.
Ever
I
since
think they're
Saquon.
still a solid team, but like they're not a championship team.
Yeah. But they get respect like they're a championship team, though.
Well, I mean, their program over the last 10 to 15 years has been really great. Ever since Franklin got there, especially.
But what is really great? They don't win shit.
No, you're right. They do come up short against Ohio State or Michigan or both, usually.
Yeah. I think they won one Big Ten championship.
I mean, with this year they kept them close. They were like not. Yeah. They were not far off.
They didn't get blown out.
Yeah.
But what does that mean if you keep things close? Like that shit. Did you win or did you lose?
I know, but you're talking about two teams in Michigan and Ohio State that they get quality blue chippers. Penn State doesn't quite get that same talent pool
because they're not good.
No, it's just because they probably just don't pay enough.
So, either way, I'm just saying that all those people out there that's like, oh man, but they win, you guys are tripping. Y'all don't watch college football. Y'all act like Alabama got in because it's only the SEC. Remind you, the SEC has won the national championship the last 15 out of 20 years. Like SEC is college football in a sense, right?
So Kenny, if Jordan Travis had played and was healthy, you'd have Alabama out?
Yeah, I think Alabama. I think they would have figured out how to get Texas out to get Alabama in. In my opinion,
crazy. That's craziness.
I don't think it's crazy.
And Texas dominated their games like that they won.
They didn't dominate all their games. They almost lost to TCU. It was a close game, but I'm saying everybody had a close game, right? But
Texas should be above.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that Texas should be above. But this is the thing: the team that Texas played week 2 is not the team now, right? And the college football criteria says the best 4 teams in America, right?
But do you think Texas is the same team? Because they've gotten better as the year went on too.
They have not gotten better.
And the criteria currently states that Texas is better than Alabama. Yeah. Thus ranking them 3 and Alabama 4. So if all things equal and Florida State wins, Florida State would, by your math, be in at 3, making Texas the likely person to go.
I know. I said I think they would have figured out a way. I'm not saying that I agree with it.
I mean, the criteria is not going to change.
Well, it does because this is why people have this thing about they're going to make sure an SEC team gets in.
But that's what I'm saying. But you said the criteria doesn't change, but at the end of the day, if a team beats the defending national champions that hasn't lost a game in 29 games, they're not one of the best teams. Georgia hasn't lost a game.
They may be one of the best 5, but they might be 5.
You can't tell me there was 4 teams that's better than Alabama. You can't tell me there's not 4 teams that's better than Georgia. Right, but somebody's going to get the short end of the stick, right? And I think in this case, it was just Florida State. And I think they would have figured out a way to do it to get Alabama in, or that Georgia wasn't getting in because they didn't win the national championship. I just think at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens. I know the Michigan fans are pissed because they were talking about, they were trying to. I was on a group chat with Michigan fans. They were trying to figure out a way like, oh no, we don't want to go to 2. Let Washington go to 2 because they thought Texas was going to go to 4 and then they were going to play Florida State. That's what about Michigan fans. Michigan fans want to beat up on the teams that are sorry because they want to, they want to get participation trophies because we made it to the national championship. So now Michigan fans, and this is a PSA for you guys, now that y'all playing against Roll Tide, Bama, please have that same energy because you guys keep saying that the SEC is not good. You keep saying SEC sucks. Please have that energy.
I think that's an unfair thing to pair because I think Harbaugh is kind of a choker when it comes to big games, and so
I think he's going to lose.
I think Nick Saban's just going to outcoach him because on paper, Michigan probably is the more talented team this year.
Oh, I think for sure.
I think the coaching is just going to put Alabama above them.
I think that what Alabama is playing at right now, they're playing really cohesive, and they're doing very well of playing the my back's against the wall. Nobody believes in this type of role, right? And Michigan, I think, out of all the teams that's in there, I think that all the teams have better talent than Alabama, like just players, like fast guys, athleticism, things like that. But I think it's going to be interesting because I know Harbaugh's not going to show up, and I know that when you give Nick Saban a month to prepare, it's scary.
Yeah.
If it was like next week, I'd be like, huh? I would think, but if you get Saban a month to prepare, it's going to get really spooky. So, and I want to know what's just going to be the excuse now because right now they're like, oh, we won back to back Big Ten championship. That's not the purpose. That's not the goal. No. So,
has Harbaugh ever won?
No,
never, right?
What?
Exactly, he's never won.
The only team that ever won in that Big Ten is Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only team that I feel threatened by when they get into the CFP because I know that before it's Urban Meyer, now it's Ryan Day. They're going to have a hell of a game plan, and offensively, they're going to scheme the shit out you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Before we move on to NFL, what are we thinking about the Heisman?
Jalen Daniels too.
Yeah.
I think Bo Nix had a shot, then he folded. So
yeah,
Jalen Daniels for sure.
He only had a shot because he was actually playing, and Jane Daniels wasn't.
Yeah,
for a week.
It's funny because like 4 or 5 weeks ago, you're talking about Jaden Daniels as like a late first round pick, potential get him in the second round.
Yeah.
Now it's like
top 10.
He's top. He'll probably be a top 5 pick. And there's like an article written on the ESPN homepage that's talking about his phenomenal gameplay.
It's because the last few weeks, I feel like they kind of petitioned for him to get into the Heisman race, and they just let him spin it because he had multiple games that he had 400 or 500, all-purpose yards.
What people don't understand, and it's kind of like an unspoken thing about any draft stock players, like in this, who their agents are and who their representations are. That's a huge part of it because yes, your play on the field, like if you're a good player, it's going to speak for itself. However, like if they can get these puff piece articles about you written,
if you get with Rosenthal, you're good.
Yeah,
your money don't matter.
Like if I would not be surprised if Daniels is the number 2 pick.
No.
Or the number 2 quarterback.
Okay. Because the number 2 pick is going to be Marvin Harrison.
He might go number 1.
He might go number 1. If Chicago wants to stay with Fields, because that might be a nice. If Chicago can stay with Fields,
no. I don't think Chicago's going to stay with Fields. Though. I think they're going to figure out how to trade him because Fields doesn't what more can he show you? What more can he show you?
Fields has really been an issue this year.
But this is the thing, though. Is either you're going to get rid of Fields or you get rid of the coaching staff because that coaching staff does not match his play. It's one of the two.
I think you get rid of the coaching staff, but
they just got the coaching staff, so they're not going to let's get rid of him again because it's going to be a revolving door.
No, I have a problem with the coaching staff because it's the same coaching staff as last year, the same team that started out the season not using Justin Fields the right way, and then changed it up halfway through, and then they came out and did the same fucking thing this year, and they came out and tried to use him like a pocket pass, and they realized, oh wait a minute, let's let him run the ball, let's let him spin, let's play to his strengths.
I think
you're gonna make that mistake every year.
I think the coaching in the NFL has been terrible as of late, right? I don't want to keep bringing up Alabama, but Alabama is a prime example with Tommy Rees and Nick Saban. What they did, they try to make Milroe a pocket passer. And if you see the offense now, that offense is scrapped. That was Bryce Young, Mac Jones. That's not the same thing. That type of offense needs to be for Justin Fields, right? I'm not saying he needs to run the whole time because I think he's a better passer than Milroe, but you got to give the guy spread outs, give him something because that quick pass, give you a bubble screen, everything, the passes with 10 yards or less, that shit is trash, man. He can't be effective like that because he didn't do that at Ohio State. So don't let him do that now.
Give me the best coaches in the league right now in the NFL. Belichick still, even though his team's 2-10.
Yeah.
I don't care. Look at his defense. That's what he's known for.
All the young quarterback. I mean, all the young coaches. So McVay,
Shanahan.
I like
Although Shanahan
Taylor.
might just be system, but he's the coach, so he gets the
Yeah, but
nod on that.
he be scheming it up though.
Shanahan, yeah.
He schemes it up. Like you can say that about Belichick about the system because it doesn't matter who's put in plug and play is great. But I like those two. I like McVay. I like who's Taylor? Who?
Who? Go ahead, Taylor.
Taylor.
Who's-
That's at Bengals, right? Who's Bengals?
Oh,
Zach Taylor?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. Yeah.
I go back and forth on him
Yeah.
Why you say that?
because man, there's sometimes that he's just an idiot. He does real staley ass shit, you know.
Staley ass shit. That's nice. No, I even like at the beginning of the year, like I understand Burrow was injured, but they did the same. Burrow was injured at the beginning of last year. Like part of that is coaching. Like there's something like happening with him, either not playing him in the preseason or like not ramping him up
What
the
does
right
that
way.
have to do with his coaching though? With Burrow getting injured, I can't help if a player gets injured though. I can't. Like that's a Burrow thing. Like Burrow has to figure that out. As a coach, I can't help him because it's not like
I mean, sports science is like sports medicine, and like there is something to say about like that routine. Like obviously he's doing something, or get him in line. I don't, but they played like shit. Like he ends up turning it on towards the end of the year. Like we need coaches that are good that like can just somehow win games in the beginning of the season.
yeah.
Like,
But so I guess what's the criteria of coaching though? Because for me, I feel like if you can coach through the adversity you guys suck and you can find how to get it together and run, I think that's good coaching because not everybody can do that, right? I feel like a lot of
yeah, I understand that aspect of it, but my concern is like when you keep making the same mistakes. Like Chicago's great when they figure it out, but they keep not figuring it out.
But the Chicago thing is like in a blue moon. I feel like the Bengals thing is different, right? Even the game with Browning, they weren't supposed to be in that with the.
They look great. He looks like Burrow out there. At least he did.
What's
last
his?
game.
I don't. Yeah, he's stretched. What's his name in Minnesota?
Dobbs.
No, not quarterback. I'm talking about the coach.
The coach.
Eberflus.
No,
that's
that's the
Chicago.
Chicago one.
Chicago.
The Minnesota guy.
He's good too. I just want he's good too. I like him, and that's pretty much it for me.
You didn't say Tomlin?
Tomlin definitely deserves to be there.
Yeah.
I don't really.
All he does is win. Like this team should not be 7-5. Have you seen their offense?
That's facts.
They should not be 7-5. They shouldn't be. I don't care what you say.
And everybody's forgetting about Andy Reid.
Well, Andy Reid that's
a given.
We're talking about. I thought. What was the question? Right? Coaches that you like.
best coaches.
The best coaches. I don't think Andy Reid is the best coach. On all respect.
Shit.
You don't think he's in the top 5 at least?
Of all time, yeah. But now the way the Chiefs look right now, they look like dog shit.
Mean anything.
It does mean things because we're talking about right now. We're not talking about last year. We're not talking about 2 years ago. We're talking about right now.
That's
Kenny, he is a winningest coach for
I don't
different
care.
franchises.
I don't care about that. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about right now. Right now, the coaching that's happening right now, right? Because I'm blaming what he's letting Patrick Mahomes get away with. I'm blaming that on him coaching. That's not good.
No, only thing from a coaching standpoint that you can potentially blame him, and it might not even be his fault. It might have been front office. They didn't pay Tyreek Hill. They overestimated how important he was to their offensive scheme. And they won in spite of him last year, which Juju Smith-Schuster on the Patriots right now was a wide receiver for the Chiefs last year and was pretty decent. So that was a big problem. But Andy Reid they're making it work. They're still like one of the top teams in the league, and you could barely name any of their receivers.
We can name quite a few.
They'd have 2 wins if one of their receiver would just catch the damn ball.
But guess what? We'll hit a lot of parlays if we had 1 or 2 teams that picks that just did the right thing, right? But
that's why we suck at betting.
And that's why they're not good at coaching this year currently.
Somebody needs to coach MVS how to catch a fucking catch.
I'd also put Sean Payton in that discussion as well.
No.
Yep. He's completely turned that team around. It just took him a little while.
Remember
to get
3
going.
weeks ago, we all was like, man, get Russ out of there. They're not good now. Now he completely turned around.
Well, they're not completely turned around, but they are 6-6.
They had a
This
good
is
start.
gonna be
That was 0-5.
Okay. They had a good
And now
start.
they're in the playoff hunt.
It's going to be a big test for the Chargers this week. I mean, the Chargers are still kind of semi in it, but
Are they? What are they?
No,
40?
they're 5-7, I think.
5 and
I
7.
mean, the Chiefs are 8-4, and they're only 5-7. Like they're only 3 games back there.
That's
The wild card is still up there because there's a lot of subpar teams.
not really.
Yeah, it
The
is.
wild
isn't
card
it?
team right now is 7-5. That's the bare minimum.
But I'm saying that's the subpar.
I mean, that's two. That's not subpar.
5-7 and 7-5.
7-5.
You got 2 long. That's like fantasy, bro. You lose 2 weeks. Guess what? You're 7-7. I'm 7-7. I win 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Lately, like
The AFC
go
is
ahead.
stacked.
There's only 2 teams that are 3, 4, 4 teams they're all 7-5 at this.
yes, 9-3, 9-3, 8-4, 8-4. Everything is 7-5.
I could see the Steelers losing this week to the Patriots.
Steelers 7-5.
like-
Browns
No.
7-5. Colts 7-5.
They'll
Texans
win.
7-5. Broncos 6-6. Those are the 5 teams right
The
there.
Steelers are going to win 3-0, dude.
You're
It's gonna
talking
be an
about
epic game.
the Steelers. The Steelers have Mitch Trubisky as their quarterback currently.
The
The
Browns
Colts have Gardner Minshew as their quarterback currently, and the Browns are starting Joe Flacco, or
Hey,
DTR,
He's a Super
or
Bowl winner.
PJ Walker. Like that's what I'm saying. Like those 3 teams can easily lose 3 games. I think the Texans are going to win a couple games here at the end of the year, and they're probably going to get in. Teams with the Bills are probably going to go on a run and start winning some games. They're going to get in.
Maybe. I
I
think.
saw on the Bills.
I think the Bills are done.
Forking
And
them.
I don't think so.
I think there's going to be some big overhauls happening on that team in the off season.
They have a lot to make ground of.
Oh, I think they need to fire their coach.
Yeah.
Like that could be a discussion for us. But it's the same effect that we had with what's his nuts for the Bengals, Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
You can win all the regular season games in the world. You have a star quarterback, like star receiver, like you're doing something wrong. You keep losing or you're not getting him in line. So like I think he's got to go, and they're gonna have to put someone else in there. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even think we covered NFL.
Yeah, we kind of went off of them.
We're going off on a tangent. It doesn't matter though. All right, hey, let's look at it. DK Metcalf showed up. What do you have?
game.
3 touchdowns in that Thursday game.
Yeah.
Finally, if you had him in fantasy, he's been just kind of coasting. A little bit too late for some teams though. But Dallas keeps rolling. They put up another 40 points at home. They are pretty good when they play in Jerry's World, but
Pretty
not
good
so
when they
great
play a bum
outside.
team.
I mean, Seahawks played them pretty well. Dallas has not beaten a good team. This week will be very interesting. If they could show out and beat the Eagles, they take the lead of the division, and the Eagles will then bump down to the number 5 seed, which would be pretty big fall from grace considering they were like 10-1 last week, heading into last week. We talked about the Chargers and Patriots game. Patriots are just pathetic. They're always going to have a good defense for as long as Bill Belichick is there. But they cannot figure out their offense. It's not working. There's nothing to say. And then the Chargers, we already talked about it. Staley needs to go. Your sound is off, big guy.
Oh, it's Zappy time.
It's Zappy. They all suck. They all
Yes,
suck. Every
thank you.
quarterback. Just start Cunningham and just play Wildcat.
Can you say that
the
one more
whole
time, Brian? You said that one more time. Whose time?
It's Zappy time.
Okay.
And look
I
what it
told-
looks like, Kenny. Oh yeah, it looks like shit still
Hey,
because the quarterback's not the issue.
he looks
Or
better.
they all suck.
He looks better than Mac Jones.
How?
He's not turning the ball over.
His average depth of target was like 3-point-something yards.
He's not
last
turning the
week.
ball over.
Yeah, well, I hope you're not turning the ball over when you're throwing the ball 3 yards down the field.
Do you guys remember when you said Fields was better than Love? I don't.
I still believe that.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
I would probably still believe that. However, if you missed our podcast because you just joined like halfway through because you were like, you know what, I forgot I got to go troll these guys. If you missed it, we did talk about how awful the Bears head coach and coaching staff is. Like it's just a bad head coach and coaching staff.
I'm with Brian.
So, what? I don't think Jordan Love's that good.
I think Jordan Love is better than Fields.
I don't.
Maybe.
Like right now, he's better than Fields.
He's had a good 3-game stretch.
He's better than Fields right now.
He's healthy.
I apologize, Brian. He's better than Fields.
I ain't apologizing for shit.
Nah, that's not apologize worthy.
I'm telling you, he had quality wins. He's beat the Chiefs. He's beat the Lions. He's been performing pretty well. He's probably had a couple weeks. He's kind of like hiccups, but
Beating
This
the
is
Lions
first year
is
starting.
not
I love that he left out the Chargers.
what are
Just
you talking about?
I just well, he said quality team. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not talking the Chargers. That's an easy win, bro.
I mean,
When your coach is on, when
they
your
have
coach
an
is going
easy
for the other
schedule
team, it doesn't
coming
matter.
up, though. They have an easy schedule coming up, so the Packers will probably make the playoffs. Because look, this week they play the Giants.
They'll lose it.
That's an easy win.
So, the Saints suck. We'll say that. Derek Carr needs to hang it up.
Derek Carr is awful. He's so
I think
terrible.
He's had like a concussion every game, or a shoulder.
He's got something every game. Ankle, shoulder. He's just broken back there. He doesn't look great.
Yeah.
The Lions are a team that will look great and then look like shit, and look great and then look like shit within the same game. They were blowing them out in this game, and then they let them come back. Like the Lions, I love them, and I think they're a great team, but they're going to lose in the playoffs because they're just not ready yet. They're not, and maybe it's Goff, maybe it's
No, it's not.
maybe
Goff.
it's the coach. I don't know what it is. They just let people come back.
They haven't been there before, right? So you got to learn that. They haven't been there before. But I think for them to be in the conversation about, doing something more than going into the playoffs, I think that's a testament to Dan Campbell, because 2 years ago they were laughing stock. So,
Yeah.
Oh, he should be in the consideration for one of the better coaches.
He should too, yeah.
Dan Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good. I mean,
He at least inspires his team to play well.
Yep.
that just proves the different style of coaches. You can have these like brainiac guys that go out there and scheme you victories, like Bill Belichick or McVay, or then you have these guys that are just, they let their coordinators do what they do, and then they go out there and they motivate, and players want to come and play for them. Then that's what he is. I was just reading this. I'm not reading this long comment. I'm not talking. We're not. This is not turning into a Packers podcast. If you want to talk about Jordan Love, you get us.
Let me see the comment.
Oh, you can't see him?
No.
Here.
Click on comments, bro.
Playing really well against the Steelers much part of the game. Nah, we know. We didn't. Nah, we good.
Yeah, we're not talking about Jordan Love. Because the thing that pisses me off is I had to listen to Collinsworth talk all day long about from Favre to Rodgers. Now they got Jordan. So like all it is now is Jordan Love's the next Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love's the next Brett Favre, the next great Packers quarterback. I don't want to hear it. I can't.
His rookie card has went up big time though. So
you should buy it.
I already have it.
Hey, the Dolphins stomped the Commanders. Tyreek Hill is on pace for like over 2,000 yards. I think it's at like 2,100 yards. He just is faster than every human being on the planet.
For sure. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not fair. Achane came back. He's great. Didn't get injured this time and got in the end zone all once, I think. He's awesome. Mostert just keeps getting it done. I was of the belief that like either Mostert was going to get injured because every year he's gotten injured every time he's ever been anywhere. But this year he's got like 14 touchdowns on the ground, rushing touchdowns, and I think he has a couple through the air. So he's like a touchdown machine, and I traded him away earlier in the season just because I was like, we got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to hold it up. Oh, we'll talk about Stroud right now. Because
he is MVP.
Houston beat. I think he should.
Yeah.
He is so.
There's no other quarterback that's playing better than Brian. He's the MVP of the league right now.
No, he's not. Tyreek Hill.
Who is?
Tyreek Hill?
Yep.
That's.
And here's the other thing: there's never been a rookie quarterback to ever win the MVP.
I understand just because it hasn't, but I'm saying he is. What he's doing right now as a rookie
follows
is
the
crazy.
precedence.
So then he will be the. There's never been a rookie quarterback that has won the Offensive Player of the Year, and he will likely win that.
Yeah, he might win that.
Yeah.
If he
But
doesn't
he's not
win,
winning MVP.
Who else going to win it?
Tyreek Hill.
No,
the problem is
Offensive Player of the Year,
Tyreek has to break the record to get that.
I don't
Bro,
know.
with the
man.
way that-
How many
what
touchdowns does that guy have now?
Yeah, what he's doing right now,
He's got
bro.
like 17 touchdowns. or
It
something.
looks like a video game.
he
like
might break
two-
Randy Moss's record of touchdowns.
Tua's just throwing it up and he's just running it down.
He's got 12 touchdowns.
12. Oh.
I mean, it's
Well,
not-
that's receiving. You have
Right.
any on the ground?
No, I don't think it. Maybe one or something. How do Randy Moss at 19, 20,
23.
23? Yeah, he's not catching that.
he's not
And
getting
then-
that
Yeah.
He need 2 touch for the rest of the season.
because he
Call
has
him up and
couple,
tell him that. Bet he gets 3 a game then.
he has no touchdowns on the ground.
But nobody can guard that man.
It's not fair. He is one of those guys that like had the natural speed and then was like, oh wait, if I just learn how to do the little things, I can get even more separation. Not to mention my speed, because he's a great route runner. Like he's just, and he catches the ball over the middle of the field, which I love watching receivers catch the ball over the middle of the field because they take big hits. I will never ever forget, and I will never let Brian forget that he was the biggest proponent of Tyreek Hill sucks. All he does is run straight. He's a terrible receiver.
That's all
and
he
he's
did.
just a speed guy. Well, look at him now. Look at
Okay.
him now.
Yeah.
He's a beast. And you're calling him the NFL MVP. I love
Okay.
it. I love to see it.
Bro, he's taking out routes and taking the touchdowns. He's taking under routes and taking it to touchdowns. He's right now, a lot of defensive backs and just like linebackers are just questioning themselves whether they should be in the league when they play against him. Because they have the angle and he's just like, there's no such thing as an angle against me.
I don't know. I think there's a way to bottle him up. You have to dedicate 2 people to him, and you actually have to press him a little bit.
But you
Which
can't.
is why they started running the motion with him, and so he's not getting pressed.
But the thing is that's why they did the whole orbit motion and have him
Right.
go, because if he's already has a running start on you, you
I
dead.
know.
Did you see that touchdown he had against Washington this last week?
He just
They
ran by
do this.
everybody.
They do this thing where he squats behind the line of scrimmage, like in like a bear in the woods type thing,
Yeah,
and
like
then
he's
goes in
in
motion,
Yeah.
and he just like you don't see him behind the lineman, and then by the time you see him, he's gone. Tua threw it like while he was at the 5-yard line, and he caught it like 30 yards downfield. It was just
Dog,
he's so much faster.
he just is ungodly, dog. There's no reason. Like at first when he's like, man, I'm the fastest man in the league, like it's not even close. And I was like, yeah, I think it's some people that can compete with you. Like there's nobody that can compete with him. Nobody.
But that being said,
You think Dallas will have a
If sh-
defensive player
if sh-
again this year? That QB, that CB. Who?
Bland.
No,
He has
Bland-
5
Oh.
pick sixes.
five
It doesn't
picks.
matter if he has 5 pick sixes. He's been getting beat.
Yeah. Well,
He's
so was
trash.
Trayvon Diggs.
It was
Everybody
it was
thought Trayvon Diggs was great.
Yeah, but
Bro.
Diggs didn't win the defensive MVP.
No.
The defensive MVP right now, it might be because Khalil Mack might break their sack record.
Yeah.
He's
He's
going
got-
nuts.
He's
He's having a hell of a year.
We talked shit about him earlier this year. Like he hasn't done shit since he's come to the Chargers.
And then the next game he has 6 sacks.
yeah,
Like what? That's why you keep talking trash.
Khalil Mack, even though their team's not doing great, he'll probably win the MVP. They love the sack totals. Interceptions are not a sticky stat, especially
unless you're
for
gonna
a
break
guy
the
that plays,
record.
especially a guy that plays safety.
If he was locked
Bland is a
down,
safety,
that would be
right?
different. No, he
he's
plays
their
corner.
nickel corner.
Yeah,
See,
if he was locked down, that's different. But he doesn't lock shit down, bro. He gets beat a lot of the times.
Yeah, because he's jumping routes. He learned from the best. Trayvon Diggs does the same shit. They just jump routes, so they get picks. It's just like who's the guy that played for Kansas City and Baltimore?
Oh, you're talking about Marcus Peters.
There you go. That's all he ever did. He just jumped routes.
He's doing that for the Raiders right now.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool. You get a lot of picks. But that doesn't make you the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he has 15 sacks right now. That's crazy.
And how many games are left?
We got like 5 games, right?
5 games left?
5 or 6, something like that.
I mean, that's pretty good because the sack total is like 21.5. Brian, don't fucking come in here and try and bait me. You know I love Tank Dell, and I've been loved Tank Dell. And I almost cried when he went down with an injury.
Well,
almost cried.
You guys are welcome
he's
for
their
the
fullback,
Tank Dell.
right? He's their fullback, right?
Don't
That's
even, Kenny. I
What are
was
you talking
on
about?
Tank Dell from the beginning.
No.
You got me on Tank Dell.
You didn't even know about Tank Dell. What are you talking about?
I was on Tank Dell when he got drafted.
What do you? I was talking about Tank Dell when he was at Houston. What are you saying? When they were starting, I said Tank Dell is it. What are you talking about?
You said he was. You were talking about him when he was at Houston, but you weren't talking about him to us.
When CJ Stroud took him, I said Tank Dell is a dog. Can we need a producer to play that back?
Yeah,
we have.
And you said he wanted him.
She's asleep.
Come on, man.
She's asleep. Leave her alone. Listen.
And Zay Flowers.
I think Stroud.
Ryan was on Zay Flowers.
No, he wasn't. I said Zay Flowers. And then you guys said he's so small. And then when y'all went to saw him at preseason, y'all said, "Oh my God, he's super fast. I love Zay Flowers." That's what Ryan said.
I said he was super small.
I know
not
you said
Ryan.
That.
Don't pair us together.
When
like
we
that.
first started,
I'm pretty sure you were like not about Zay Flowers, Kenny. I will have to roll the tape back on this one because I'm pretty sure when I was talking about the Giants drafting Zay Flowers, you were like, I don't know, he's a small guy.
He's a small guy, and then when I watched
Boston
the
College
tape
guy,
when they
like,
drafted, I said he is a fucking dog. I said he's a dog, and you said the same thing about the small guy thing as well. You did. You agreed to that.
I only said that because the Giants have a lot of small receivers.
And you saw him in person, and he said, "Oh shit!" He's like, he's the real deal. Anyway,
but the problem with Zay Flowers though is, as much as I love Lamar and I love the Ravens and I love what they're doing, he could be so much better. Like if you put Zay Flowers with Mahomes right now, he'd be insane. Insane. I'm sorry, he'd be insane.
Yeah,
Lamar,
he's better than Rice, so
yeah, he's better than Rice.
I'm not disagreeing with that. He'd better than Dell.
He'd be. No, Tank Dell's he's a beast.
Tank Dell route running is crazy.
I love that guy. I'm so mad. I hope he comes back and he's fine.
All right, what else we got?
Wait, I had some other things I wanted to hit on. Joe Flacco loves Elijah Moore, in case you were wondering. He started a game for the Jets, I think, last year, the year before, and he targeted him like 13 times. He had targeted him like 12 times in this game. Amari Cooper went out again with a freaking injury. This guy just can't stay healthy. Yeah.
Weird.
And then here, we can talk about this. The 49ers destroyed.
Can I say I told y'all that last week too, or are you gonna say Kenny you didn't say that?
We all said it though. We all agreed. Can we say that, Kenny? Can we say we agreed?
Can we say that we agreed? Or is that off the books?
No, it's off the books. We can't say we agreed because I said it would be the dog shit. I don't know. And I think Brian agreed with me, Brian, but I don't think you agreed to that.
What?
I don't think you agreed to that last week.
Well, you want me to pull up my bet slip? Because that definitely agreed with it.
It doesn't matter if your bet slip agreed with that. What I'm saying, what we said in the podcast, you didn't say.
I was all over the 49ers, dude. I've been all over the 49ers all year.
Okay. So then, Ryan, did you not say it?
What?
Did you not say that?
I hate the Eagles. I would never pick the Eagles.
I think the Eagles have gotten away with murder this year. They should have lost to like 4 or 5 teams that they played already. They are the most overrated 2-loss team ever.
Guys, we're going over on this podcast. I don't care. I
don't care. Listen, Bryant, because all he's doing is trolling me in here. If I hear more biased fucking Packers shit, I'm gonna lose my shit. Jaden Reed looking nice, but not as good as Flowers or Dell. He is not as good as Flowers or Dell, but I wouldn't consider him nice. He's average. He's a solid pickup.
Cool.
The only thing he's got on any of your other receivers is that he stays healthy because this idiot Christian Watson can't stay healthy.
They said,
what is
which
that?
Weird. They said,
Kenny,
what are you doing? You're looking
he's
at
trying to find it.
You're
He's
looking
trying to
at-
find
yeah.
it.
I thought I muted my mic. How the hell can y'all hear that shit? Let me mute my shit, man.
You ain't muted.
This guy's trying to look it up.
Yeah, I was looking it up. I'm
Have you
muted.
been on the wrong mic all
Anyways,
this time?
Jaden Reed has 40 catches, 513 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Like the 5 touchdowns is nice, but like he's to me, they haven't unlocked him yet. So if he is a good player and he is a good receiver, they haven't unlocked him yet because they have him doing like some bum ass short routes. Like he's like a gadget guy. Like they got him doing like jet sweeps and runs across spreading the field. It's like little things like that. At the most yards he's had in the game is like 84. Yeah, he is a good gadget player to like just have on your team.
Good. You got Ty Montgomery again. Congrats.
At least he has a receiver number.
So did Ty Montgomery.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why you didn't like him, because he's a running
Yeah.
back with an 84 or whatever it was.
But hey, my coworker, he talked about, he's a big Eagles fan, but he actually gave props to the 49ers and Deebo Samuel because he was like, Deebo Samuel talked a lot of trash before because him and Darius Slay were going at it. And he went at and balled out. Like Deebo Samuel had like his best game of the season. And then they were trying to run the clock out and Deebo just ran it in for a touchdown. They look great. And then here we'll talk about the Packers for a little bit. They outcoached or they outplayed Andy Reid and the Chiefs. I don't know if I'd say they outcoached them, but they were slicing through that defense, which is funny because the Chiefs defense was like the best part of their team all season. So yeah. What were your thoughts on that game?
Oh man, that was a disappointing game because I missed a parlay by one leg. But
yeah, fuck AJ Dillon.
yeah.
All you gotta do
You're
is
banned.
well, you know what?
You're
Actually
banned
no.
from running back receptions. Every time you pick a running back receptions, it doesn't hit.
No, that's not true because I picked Alvin Kamara and he hit.
Okay.
But
sorry, I was talking about
AJ
Sharp.
Dillon, all I asked for was 2 catches. But no, Mr. Jordan Love trying to like Mr. Home Run ball towards the end of the game. Instead of checking it down to your running back, you're trying to get first downs down the field with your receivers, and they're dropping the ball. And they kept getting drops on like second and third down the field, and they were turning the ball over on 4th down. But they could have just checked it down to AJ Dillon. He's standing right there. All he needed was 1 single catch.
Yeah, well, he learned from the best of extending a play and waiting for the big opportunity instead of just taking what's in front of him.
Trash. And then the Jags looked good, and then they just blew the game to the Bengals.
Because Lawrence got hurt.
I know. Supposedly his ankle injury is not that bad. It's an ankle injury. He went down. Who else went down? Kenny Pickett went down with an injury. He's out with an ankle injury.
Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm back.
I mean,
You done doing research?
Yeah, and guess what? Brian, I apologize. I'm saying on air. You definitely backed me and said, yeah, we're going to beat them. Ryan, you were on the fence. You said
With who?
with 49ers. You said that's crazy that they're doggone favorite at the Eagles. And I said, we're going to beat the dog shit out. They're going to beat the dog shit out. Brian's like, yeah, they're going to really handle them. You said, you think? I don't know. And then you continued on and started talking about, think about this. If they lose this week, then they have to play against the Cowboys, and they lose against the Cowboys, they're going to find themselves out of first place.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
yeah.
Because that's what I think. I actually think they might lose to the Cowboys this week. That's my prediction, is that they lose this week to the Cowboys, and they're outside. Looking at it.
Let's make a more arbitrary stat than who has the most 30-yard receptions in the league, Brian. Come on.
Brian says anything that
that favors the Packers.
You're
Yes.
worse than me, Brian. You say anything that to make yourself be right.
Hey, guys, who has the most 18-yard receptions in the league?
Who's has as
Pretty
many
sure.
carries for 1 yard in the league? AJ Dillon. He has 40 carries with 1 yard gains.
Answer the second question. Ignore the first one.
Brian, you might as well come over and be our producer, bro.
You want to know who my favorite in the AFC is? Is the Ravens.
In the AFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably
second
would
be the Dolphins.
The Dolphins is my favorite for sure. Without question.
Wow, Brian, I'm so proud of you. You've grown so much.
I'm growing, man. I'm here.
You know what you should do? You should watch the in-season Hard Knocks.
No,
because I like Mike McDaniel.
I
like
love
him too.
McDaniels.
He's fine.
He is.
I mean,
like
if I
funny.
had to play or coach against him, though, I would definitely want to punch him in the face. I'm not gonna lie, like, because he's got like that fucking like shit-eating grin on his face half the time, and I'm like, oh,
there is no
a bastard.
Coach with more swagger
than
he's wearing aviators on the sideline. He got the Nike Tech fit, like he's
chilling, bro.
You love him if he's your coach, otherwise you hate him.
Oh, I love the memes of this guy. They look at him like he's a guy calling Madden plays, and he's just a kid off the couch. Like he's just like, yeah, we're gonna run X button. He's a beast. And then you think Miami can win a big game? That is a big talent. That's the reason why I'm a little hesitant on Miami, because I fear that a lot of the games they've won are against teams that are like subpar.
They pile on to shit teams, but then they haven't won a big game yet. So it's fair. It's a fair assessment.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
Like it's just like,
yeah.
Like
probably.
This is Brian. This is how everyone. This is how everyone felt. You sure?
We can bet it. They won't be. Chiefs won't make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Man, I'm not willing to bet because you get 7 teams.
Yeah,
you get.
I'm just telling you that they're not though. They're not. They don't have enough to do it, man. And the more they lose, is the more people get to see, like, okay, the weaknesses and how they can win.
Their receivers are the weakness. That's it. Although Rashee Rice is starting to look better, but Rashee Rice doesn't do anything great. He does what Sky Moore does, except he catches the ball. Sky Moore out there running routes, doing whatever he wants. I hate Sky Moore. I think if Lamar can stay healthy, they are the team to beat. I mean, Lamar has been staying healthy this season.
All right. So, what do you have for? Do you have anything for Ryan's fantasies, or are you pretty much covered with all the football?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll talk about the playoffs. Start getting your defenses ready for the playoffs. The Eagles get to play the Giants twice during the fantasy football playoffs. So, and I like
the Eagles haven't been really good on defense. I wouldn't even
the Eagles. You should have picked up the Eagles a couple weeks ago because they would have been available because they've had teams like the Bills. People don't want to play them against the Bills. They didn't want to play them against what's the team they just lost? They just lost to the 49ers. Like they could be out there.
They're not getting dropped though. They're going to be hung on to.
Well, I'm just saying some people didn't hang on to them.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I'm holding on to them in all your leagues.
like this week, I went and grabbed the Texans everywhere because I think the Texans have a pretty good playoff matchup.
They do. They have a.
Yeah, they do.
I think I need to pick them up too because I wouldn't have picked the Ravens up. That's what I had the whole year as the Ravens. But I don't like who they play in the playoffs. But yeah,
definitely you want to be looking at matchups. So I agree.
Okay, first off, if Jaden Reed is a top 7, I'm just going to enter. I don't know why, but if he's a top 7 receiver, I don't even know if there are 7 rookie receivers that are eligible to even be graded.
So that are better than Jaden Reed?
That are even included in the conversation. Like I would put Jaden Reed above Quentin Johnston right now. I would put Addison above him. I would put Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba.
There's way more than 7 players that's better than him.
Zay Flowers. I would even put Rashee Rice.
Puka
Tank Dell, Puka Nacua.
Jordan
That's 6
Addison.
right there. Yeah, we had him.
Oh,
so
sorry.
we
Jackson
need,
Smith
we
and Jigba, you said that, right?
need that's 6. So then
Rashi Rice is better than him.
yeah, we
Right,
had
so
we had Rashi.
Josh Downs, he's been playing good. He got
Oh,
hurt
yeah,
with
Josh
Dutch before
Downs.
then. He was balling.
Yeah, Mingo's starting to come on too.
Mingo's
Yeah,
on.
well, once they got rid of their coach and they realized their season's over and they have to start looking at
Yeah,
their
that's it.
rookies.
You could have said Mario Douglas until he got hurt.
Yes. I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah. I like Trey Palmer too down in
Arizona.
down in Tampa, but I think
Tampa.
those are kind of like even with them. But I think Douglas, if he got hurt, he's been performing like he's the only like spark that they have at New England. So
He just looks quick because everybody else is slow around him.
that could be the case too.
Dude, I think this is officially our longest podcast.
It is.
Yeah.
For
All right.
BK bets, all I'm going to tell you guys is DraftKings has a new thing out called Pick Six. If you don't have it already, that's probably where we're going to be doing a lot of our bread and butter at. But we're still going to have our picks on DraftKings. If you're not in the group already, join the group. We probably got like 15 or 16 people in there. We're loading up a little bit. Brian's been hitting. I ain't been hitting.
What?
You haven't been hitting?
I've been doing all right.
I said Brian's been hitting. I haven't been hitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hit one parlay last week for like 600. So they got me back on the track, and that was it. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got.
I got a couple.
Go
I
ahead.
want. So Thursday night, the over/under is 30 for Patriots and Steelers. Hit the under.
Oh my God,
They ain't scoring shit. Both those offenses are cancer.
bro.
They're
That's
not
what.
scoring anything, Kenny. Don't even come
Bro,
at me
that's
with
what
it.
people got against when the doggone Jaguars in Bengals game. They said, "Oh my God, this is going to be an under."
No.
That bitch
Because
got hit
here's the
first
difference,
half.
Kenny. You're talking about two teams that have really good defenses on top of the fact that their offenses are ass.
30. I don't think 30 points is
Well,
nothing, bro.
you want to know how many points the Patriots have scored in the last 3 weeks?
Okay, take the
10.
under. Take the under.
Anyways, I like that. I also like on Sunday, I like the Ravens at home against the Rams to cover. It's -7. West Coast teams normally don't fare well when they come to the East. And so I think that that's worth a few more points than just a touchdown. And I also like, dude, I don't know why, but the Texans are only 3.5 point favorites at the Jets. The Jets can't score anything. They're trash. Okay.
Dude, what are you talking about? Zach Wilson's back.
I don't care. They're ass. Okay.
He's the spark they need.
the
Bench him and
Texans
then get him
win
in there.
this game by at least 10. Okay. And then I had one more.
The defense is good though.
Oh,
Do they even score 10 points?
That doggone Jets and Falcons game was terrible.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then my other one, dude, Seattle at San Fran. It's right now they're +10.5. I think that's too many points for a division game. So I could see that being a little bit closer than 10. So that's I might put a little sprinkle on that as well. And then the big game, Bills and Chiefs. Weird gut feeling, Bills are going to win the game. And because it's not a playoff game, so the Bills will win.
Why is
Don't
that a
ask
gut
why.
feeling?
There's nothing other than my gut feeling is.
But
the Bills are
that's
gonna win.
I think that's obvious.
You think it's obvious?
The Bills
It's in Kansas City.
the Bills have to play with their hair on fire, bro, to make it
Yeah.
in. They can't take any more losses.
Are they coming off bye?
The Bills are. Yep.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so add that to it. Well, right now it's a pick 'em. Basically, it's a 1.5 favorite to the Kansas City Chiefs. So basically a pick 'em. So I like that. And then the Philly and Eagles game, Philly and Dallas game. Dallas is a 3.5 point favorite. I would take the points with Philly. After their showing of last week, they're going to be coming out for a little blood. So they're going to keep it close.
I like it.
Can you stop, Brian?
Why?
Don't listen to him, bro. We're not
Okay.
talking about no Green Bay Packers versus Giants. We're not talking about that.
100% trap game.
Please,
For,
like, just beat the shit out of the Giants so we can keep losing games.
bro. You know, but it's funny he says that. I can see the Packers losing
Yeah, I know that.
because they're the type of team that falls into a trap. Because Jordan Love is not it.
Ooh,
We're not. I'm going to go ahead and end it before you guys go back and forth because Brian can go all day. He's going to give you all the reasons why he is it. So, anyway, man, I know we went over a little bit, but I hope you guys enjoyed the time. It was good conversation, good talk. As always, like, subscribe, share with all your friends and families. Good luck this weekend in fantasy football. Get ready for the playoffs. Like I said before, follow us on DraftKings if you're not there already. Pick Six if you're not there already. I think Ryan will probably put in our weekly DFS. Am I missing anything, guys? Is it?
nope.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a safe night or have a good night. See you next week. Peace.
Later.
See you.